Hello guys, welcome to a new video on Tower of God New World, and in this video I'm going to talk about the different elements and what I think they need in terms of like units or kits and stuff like that to be a better element overall. So yeah, that's going to be the topic for today's video. I'm also going to briefly touch upon the revolution system that will be introduced and mainly what I think is going to be implemented, how it could work. So yeah, those are the topics. Let me know if you would like to see more of these kind of prediction videos in the future, or if in your opinion I should just stop doing these and focus on more practical content instead. So yeah, that being said, I also want to quickly mention that in the past days I didn't post a video because I was on a business trip and I didn't really have the time to make any. If you were already like joined on my Discord server, you already saw my announcement there, so you were already aware. Otherwise, I'm just telling you now the reason why. Now, without further ado, let's just head over to the Teammates tab and filter by color. Let's start talking about the yellow element. I would say this element is good. The only issues are you are missing a good frontline unit, so a good tank. They released DataWork, but unfortunately DataWork is not a tank at all, and that guy is not even a DPS. The second thing that this element is missing is a close range DPS unit, because we only have 3 DPS options here, and they're all ranged. We have Eden, we have Compress Rack, and we have Hiwa. So yeah, it's kind of a problem, I would say, when you're facing the purple element, because Oakin can just kill your units without any problems. Kiseiya can do the same. So it's not like yellow is not in the best spot at the moment to fight against purple. They would need a good tank that can draw aggro from both Kiseiya and Joaquin, and they would also need a close range damage dealing unit so that Kiseiya will kill the backline, but you will still have a DPS available. That's basically the idea. If you have a Rainbow 5 Evan, you're not going to feel this problem as much because that guy can just turn your team in invincible. Like, he can just make them all unkillable, and that's it. So, really, really good. I would still say do not go for Evan Rainbow 5 before going for other units, but you will get to a point where you have no better units to upgrade and you will have an Evan. Obviously, like an Evan Rainbow 5. Obviously, if you are free to play, that moment is going to be quite far away from from the current time. But yeah, definitely definitely possible more down the line. And yeah, that's basically what this element needs. Yeah, that's pretty much all. So let's move on to purple. I would say the main issue with purple is consistency. This element doesn't have any evident shortcomings. I would say you have ranged options if you really want to, like Mashini or Rachel, whatever. But like you do have options. The usual composition is always going to be the same anyway, uh, even though you could vary it a bit. But you're always going to run Gustang, Karaka, Joaquin, Kiseiya, and Kunagero, basically. So the issue here is that Joaquin is extremely RNG because it depends where it teleports to and when it decides to cast the special skill. That can just decide the whole flow of the battle. And if Kiseiya, other than killing the first unit, can kill the second one, will also have a huge impact on how the fight is going. So yeah, this element is solid, has some great options, but survivability, especially for Joaquin, is not the best unless you're running a resistance set that can get him really close to 100% in both resistances. Otherwise, there will be times where it's just going to explode, other times where it's going to survive for a long time. And yeah, It would be helpful to have a support that can actually help there because Goose Tank is not really the best to help with like preventing one shots or stuff like that. But it's okay. Basically, the only shortcoming here is again RNG. We would like to see more units that can improve consistency. But I would say if you play manual, you can just decide when to cast the special skill for Akin, and at times that could be enough. Still, I'm too lazy to play manual, so I'm just going to stay here, complain, and say this element is too RNG. You need to like go in auto progress, wait for 90 tries, and sooner or later, uh, purple will win, basically. So yeah, okay. That being said, let's just go over red. Red also has, well, not also. Red has some huge problems, which is red doesn't have a front line. Unfortunately, Vicente was not the unit I was expecting. I mean, he is still fine. At least they gave him the evasion reduction, and I feel like he's going to be really, really important when fighting Shiliel, because Shiliel is going to be the highest attack unit basically 99% of the times. And Vicente is going to grab her, is going to reduce her evasion, which is, by the way, really high at the start of the battle. So it's going to make her receive all hits for 4 seconds, and in 4 seconds that unit is going to be dead. So I'd say really great unit for that. Still, I haven't faced any shield at the moment, maybe on floor 61 onwards I will see some, but until then, Vicente is quite underwhelming. Unfortunately, that evasion reduction is not going to be that useful against the hard. That's a bit of a shame. But I would say the hard can be countered by having 100% physical resistances on, in my case, Evankel. In your case, I don't know. Other than Evankel, I wouldn't run physical resistance on Michael, Akraptor, or Viol. But yeah, basically any unit, like not necessarily from red, but any unit with 100% resistance, it could just destroy the hard without any problems. So yeah, that's basically it. It's not a big deal. If you do not have any unit with 100% resistances in like physical resistances, you can always run an Apple with the ignition weapon unlocked, so exclamation plus 20, giving her additional survivability so that she can more reliably cast the special skill. That's all there is to the hard. So I would say red is kind of suffering, but not that much because the enemies that you are supposed to face with red are quite weak at the moment. So yeah, that's my take on this. If I'm not going to see the next red unit with the evasion reduction mechanic in his kit, I will definitely take Apple to plus 20 exclusive equipment myself. So yeah, that's basically what's needed here. And I would say if you are using Viol and Evankel as your main DPS unit, you will feel that you have no physical damage whatsoever because Warion doesn't deal enough damage to be considered DPS. Vicente does low amounts of damage, so I'm not really sure how to consider him at the moment. Michael deals magic damage, and a Craptor deals physical damage, but if you have both Evankel and Viol, you're probably not going to build him. And if you have a Viol 3 green already, probably you don't really have to build him either. So yeah, quite strange. But I think a frontline slash DPS slash close range that slash physical unit would be Jin Sung Ha. And yeah, that guy is going to hopefully fix the problems that Red have at the moment, that Red has at the moment. Next color is going to be blue. Blue, if you have the collab, is absolutely amazing. Really way too strong. OP even. Really, really huge. Uh, like really strong element. Nothing to say here. If you do not have Escanor and Meliodas maxed for some reason, and you only have Elizabeth maxed, she's still going to be great. Like lately, I've only used her in the fight because I'm kind of keeping Escanor and Melee for emergencies. Like in case I cannot win one of the other three fights, I can always plug Escanor and Meliodas in and there will be no problems. I'm also not using Blanc. I'm keeping her for the same reason. So I'm using a stupid team with mostly Urek, Kunran, Blarod, Kurdan, and Elizabeth. Elizabeth is the main DPS, the other guys are just there, one to assassinate and the other three just to block the enemies from attacking Elizabeth. That's basically what I'm running, and it works really, really well. It's not the best blue comp, but still a really solid one, which only uses one of the three units of the collab. Really, really good. I would say if you do not have the collab units, blue is still solid, at least is really tanky. The issue is that the DPS is really lacking at that point. So I really hope they're going to release a proper DPS unit for blue, but I don't see it happening anytime soon because we already got two of them, like two DPS units in the collab. It was kind of a weird choice on their side. To be honest, I don't see why releasing two really huge, really strong DPS units in a collab that people cannot pull for anymore. So it was a really weird choice. But yeah, we'll see what they are going to release for blue. I think a main DPS is what's most needed if you do not have the collab. But again, as I just said, I don't think it's going to be the unit that gets released. So yeah. What's also lacking here that I feel it at times is that Blarod can only target the backline, but I would like for an option to target the front line as well. There are times where they put Hansung Yu in the front line, and I really hate that guy. I would like to kill him. He's way too strong in adventure when in the enemy team. So yeah, whatever. That's just one additional thing, but nothing too big. Then we have green. This element is really underwhelming. The main point of green is to fight blue. Blue, the issue is that they are the strongest element at the moment. Fortunately, we do not face like collab units in adventure, but still, even without the collab units, blue is too strong when over leveled. Urek is going to be a pain, is going to wipe your whole team whenever he dies, so really, really a pain to deal with. Is going to provide a ton of shields, which is good if you're using Zahard, but for the team on which you're not running Zahard is a bit of a pain, and green cannot really destroy him. So we definitely need someone that can kill shields in the green element. That's really important because we only have Zahard at the moment. What's also really important is that we need a really good support because we only have Lozelle and she's just average. She's okay. She's a healer. She's a good support for Zahard, but that's about it, really. There are not that many good options on her. We're going to get, in theory, Teen Leroro as a support for green, and I would say that's okay, but we got, like, the information we got is that he's going to boost the magic damage. For magic damage, we only have Rachel, which if people do not have the collab, they're not going to get. We have Yeonhee, which the same thing. She is a collab unit, so most people might not have her, or if they do, not with many dupes. And then we have Ren. Ren is an SSR Plus unit. Anyone can get him, but still, I don't think the investment is really justified at the moment as one of the first units. But yeah, he is the only other one that's going to deal magic damage, pretty much. There is also low rate, but I don't think is a really great option. He's kind of another Rihanna user. So yeah. That being said, I would say Teen Leroro, just with the passive, will not be that impactful, in my opinion, but it needs to have something that either blocks the creation of new shields or just destroy them really frequently, though, or something like that. That would be really, really helpful. You also need ways to prevent the enemy data machine, which is a immortal unit that can just go for your carry and one-shot them. You need also ways to draw aggro from them, taunt them, so that data machine doesn't go on your carries. And yeah, that's also something that green is lacking because we do have Zahard as a frontline. We do have Ren that is kind of usable as a frontliner as well, but they both have no taunt in their kit. So yeah, green is really, really lacking. They need protection for their DPS units. They need good supports, and yeah, they need more also magic damage dealing units. The issue is they're also going to release Child Yuri as an SSR Plus unit, and she is most likely not going to be a magic unit. Like she's not going to deal magic damage, she's going to deal physical damage. So she's not probably going to have the best of synergies with Teen Leroro. But again, we only got the leaks, we do not know exactly what's going on. I hope Child Yuri will have some ways to taunt the enemies. Maybe she's a kid, she can just provoke enemies in some ways. She's kind of, uh, how can I say, she always does whatever she wants. So she might be annoying for the enemies, and that could justify tank skills in her kit. I don't know, taunt skills, sorry. But she's an assassin, so she's probably not going to have that. I don't know what else we could expect here. I mean, if she's an assassin that can kill quickly an enemy Urek, then awesome. If she's an assassin that can also ignore like invincibility from enemies and then kill off uh, like a data machine more quickly, great. What could also be helpful is debuffs to reduce enemy swiftness. That could also be great for both data machine that not going to cast the skills as frequently, so the invincibility is going to last less. Really good. Or yeah, I mean those are uh, my hopes and my best guesses, I would say. So that was pretty much all for the predictions on the elements and what are their weaknesses, etc. I also wanted to show you really quickly before talking about the revolution system, the recent clears with a team without Escanor and Meliodas, as you can see that I mentioned it before in the blue team. In here I only have Elizabeth. Elizabeth can deal a ton of damage. We do not really have another like DPS option. Even Kuran really dealt low damage. Urek even less, and then Blarod just one shot in one unit, and that's it. So if we see here from the fight, Elizabeth really deals a ton of damage with the special skill. Then she also has the revive, which is really huge. And then another special skill. I mean, the damage Elizabeth deals is really huge. The attack speed is really high. So I really like her. And as I said, here I was just using, okay, whatever. This is just the single stages. I don't care. But yeah, I'm mostly keeping Escanor and Meliodas as a backup option, as an emergency plan for stages I cannot clear. So yeah, that's just to say that blue is really solid, even without those two, which are arguably the best SSR, like the best blue units in the game at the moment. You can still easily win. So now I will just briefly also talk about the evolution system. In the dev notes that we read a lot of times already, I'm pretty sure, they mentioned it being tied to the limit break and that giving an additional stat growth option or capabilities according to the limit break that has been previously progressed. I'm reading right now the dev notes. So it seems to be tied to the limit break. We already said that. But what I see from the icons below is that one, it seems to be like a huge tree, like more or less the original, probably even bigger. There are sections. The one we see on the screenshot is going to be the HP one. I'm hoping the first sections are going to be accuracy and evasion, especially if they are tied to limit break, so that once you get to green and blue, you're going to get access to accuracy and evasion zones, or however we want to call them. And then we see an icon of the coins. That's definitely the icon of the coins. And we see that certain subnodes that are out of the main path, let's say, they do have, okay, wait a second. Let me see if I can share this with you. Wait a second, I have to do this. It's not working. Okay, I have to share first the other file. Okay, so here we can see that outside of this main path, there are these nodes with levels below them. And here we can see the coins icon. So basically it seems you're going to spend coins to increase the level of these subnodes, but you cannot touch the main ones. So my guess is with the limit breaks, you're going to unlock these big nodes, and then with coins, you can level up the subnodes. That's my best guess. What I'm what I also think is that, as I said before, they're going to go in order for every single unit, and I'm hoping accuracy and evasion are going to be the first two that you unlock with the green and blue tiers, then followed by attack, HP, and lastly defense, because defense is probably the least important stats in this game. So that was my guess for this system and how I think it's going to be tied to limit break. I would say if they do it this way, is fine, but if accuracy and evasion are the last two, it's going to be problematic for the SSR Plus units. For SSR is fine if this decided to do it in whatever order they want. It's not going to be that important. But if they do it for SSR Plus and they give you access to the accuracy and evasion boosting stats last, is going to be a problem for free-to-play players for sure. So I hope they're smart. I hope they're going to do that you get the accuracy and evasion nodes once you get to basically 3 blue, which is accessible for sure. So yeah, that's basically my guess and what I hope for. I don't think they're going to add stats like crit rate, crit damage, physical resistance, magic resistance also in the Revolution system. I'm pretty sure it's only going to be accuracy, evasion, HP, defense, and attack. But again, just my guess. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think about this system and how it could play out, how it could work. And also let me know what you think about my takes on the different elements and what I think their weaknesses are currently. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.